the question that I'm kind of leading to, I know you've been to university, but is it something that you would still recommend to younger folks? Or is it
Mm.
something that like how do you feel about university? Eh,
I mean, I think now it's hard because I mean, I I didn't really delve 100% into the university life.
mhm.
It's funny because I went to the same school that Mike Wandog did. Like Mike Wandog
Oh
is an
yeah.
alumni from UC Irvine. But I'm pretty sure that he a lot of his lifelong friends, and as a lot of people are, their lifelong friends are made from college. I was
Mhm.
already with KG, so me having a boyfriend, like my social life was outside of school, so I didn't
Mhm.
really build that social like life and all from the
Oh yeah.
university. But at the same time, like really taking those classes that I did, that like sociology, women's studies, anthropology, it really
Mm.
did get me to think this in the way that I do. I like to look at things from different perspective. Like I don't know if
Mhm.
it's and I don't know if I was like this before or after college, but a lot of those classes, even though they were just electives for me, um, those like that opportunity to learn how to analyze and look at certain situations, whether it's just an advertisement, a movie, or just a situation. I feel like I did get that from
Mm.
university. I don't know what it's like nowadays anymore but I would still recommend going to, like, and I went to a school that was far enough away for me to move out of the house, but close enough to still be able to go home, like
Yeah.
on a
Yeah.
weekend. And so that opportunity, like, I mean, I got the freedom that I wanted. And then, but looking back at it, when I do hear, like, some of the cousins, all these my nurse cousins are like way better, like financially, whatever. But when we talk about certain things, she's like, "Oh, I never really got that experience because they mostly went to community colleges." There are some people that went to the university to get their nursing degrees, which is, I would, if that's the case, like I would almost recommend that. Guaranteed job
Yeah.
right out of college, and you get to
Right.
still have that college lifestyle, because a lot of I mean, and because nowadays you need a bachelor's of nursing, not just an associate's degree. So, but I
Yeah.
mean, even though I avoided nursing like the plague, I probably wouldn't recommend to my daughter, like, why don't you, do you want to be a nurse?
I'm telling you, man. I'm already planting the seeds.
Yeah, like it's
We were kind
yeah.
of saying, hey,
Wow.
doctor, lawyer, and then like my wife and I were talking about it, and we're going like, damn, man, the best option really is
It's
nursing. Our
nursing. It
parents
is.
were
Yeah, you don't have
always
to
right.
deal with that insurance thing as much with the
Mhm.
Yeah, even
nurse.
as a
Yeah.
doctor, you got to deal with malpractice insurance, and some doctors
Yeah,
don't want to be doctors anymore. I mean, there's the
right.
fee that comes with
So
it, but like
Just go for
nursing's
the doctor.
a tough job, but it's like just go for doctor. We'll see whatever
Just
we
go
can
for
pull
it.
out from these kids. You know what I
I
mean?
know. Exactly.
So
But
Uh,
even if they pick a trade
mhm.
and they're passionate about it, I do have to say your experience is quite from people I've met is quite common. Like
Mhm.
a lot of folks, they didn't graduate. I mean, they didn't end up doing the job that they graduated with
Mhm.
in
Oh
terms
yeah.
of their major. And so like a lot of folks, they still say the university experience, because most people, what they value out of the university experience isn't usually from their major.
Right.
It's from the other aspects. It's partly the
Mhm.
social aspect, and then
Mhm.
all the other rounding out from
Yes.
electives and other courses that like open people's mind. Like my
Mhm.
minor is Asian American studies,
Mhm.
and
And I took that too. Yeah.
yeah, that opened my mind a lot in terms of
Mhm.
like
Well,
how
it does invite soft skills, and that's one of the aspects that sometimes you have to learn, and
Yeah.
that's almost invaluable. They
Mhm.
The whole idea of going to a university is to be exposed to stuff beyond outside
Yeah.
outside of your own circle, and there's certain value to it. It just simply gives people, I think, more
Mhm.
options. And when you have more options, that might be a good definition of success.
Mhm.
What you do with those options, well, that's another
That's
thing.
yeah.
But it gives you more options. It gives you more tools in the toolbox to be able to go out there and deal with the ever-changing wildness of the world.
Mhm.
And I think that there's something about that. I mean, I've had in my life I've had two definite careers, one in law enforcement, one one as ordained minister in the Episcopal Church. And both those paths, that's actually not what I studied. I studied social science and Asian American studies. I thought I'd be a teacher, and I
You're
do
close though.
teach, and I actually also ended up in the Army. So
Mm.
so that's another kind of thing. And so if I'm able to take it my 20 years, then yeah, I'll get a pension for that too. But uh, I think that sometimes you just don't know. You follow what the calling might be, or you discover what that calling might be, and but whatever you thought that you planned for, a lot of times, and especially in
Mhm.
this world, it isn't what you planned for. You will end up adapting, and I think that's one of the things, to encourage younger
Yeah.
folks into is embrace your journey. You'll be all right as long as you don't get into stupid stuff like becoming a drug addict or an alcoholic, or something like that, which will definitely hamper you, or uh
Mm.
if you stay on a path in which you are following a call that's authentically who you might be and how you're participating in the world and taking responsibility for your own life, you will find a path that I think works for the greater good. Because
Mhm.
for the most part, all of us have some semblance of family that we're part of,
Oh yeah.
and we when we participate in that, we lift that up, uh, and so not only do we lift up the legacy of our ancestors, but also we become these examples for the kiddos that in which they say, oh yeah, you know what, that just gives a lot of options. Now when I was a kid, my mom wanted to be a nurse. That's what she said. Oh, be a nurse. But I want an action adventure. So I'm like, oh no, I want to do this. But is that a good path? I think generally it is a good path. I think parents always want the kids to embrace what's what's uh, what's good for them,
Mhm.
what's good for the kid, uh, but it might not necessarily be what's best for the kid. And
Exactly.
so then
Mhm.
then the young one has to eventually come up, with what will be best for them, and in this kind of like beautiful and broken world here.
Mhm.
Yeah.